All right, so you sent over a ton of info on ALX Africa, and wow,
Yeah.
it's really got me thinking.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're training and connecting tech talent across the entire African continent.
That's right.
Talk about
It's
ambitious.
a huge undertaking.
They've got training programs in fields I'm barely keeping up with, plus this whole pathway thing for recent grads. I mean,
Yeah, where do we even begin?
exactly. So for anyone listening who's like me and it needs a little catch-up, what exactly is ALX? They're not just like another online course platform, right?
Right.
Like, what sets them apart?
Yeah, what's fascinating is how ALX is really tapping into a huge need.
Okay.
Think about it. Africa has the youngest population in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and the tech scene there is booming.
I've heard that, yeah.
But there's this massive skills gap.
Oh, yeah.
ALX is trying to bridge that, and they're doing it in a way that's pretty unique.
Okay, so for our listeners who might not be totally familiar, could you give us like a quick rundown of what ALX actually is?
Sure.
Like their origin story, I guess?
So ALX is actually a charitable organization based in Mauritius.
Okay,
And their model is really unlike anything I've seen.
okay.
They want to equip people with the most in-demand tech skills,
Mm-hmm.
but they're also focused on developing ethical and entrepreneurial leaders.
Okay, I'm picking up on a theme here. Ethical leadership. Why is that such a big deal for them?
Well, it goes back to that idea of Africa's booming tech scene.
Okay.
We're talking rapid growth innovation, the potential to solve some of the continent's biggest challenges.
Mm-hmm.
But technology can be used for good or for bad, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
ALX wants to make sure the next generation of tech leaders in Africa are equipped to make the right choices.
So it's not just about coding skills.
Right.
It's about the bigger picture.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah,
But how does all of this actually work?
sure.
Do people sign up for individual courses or?
So this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
They have this thing called ALX All Access,
Okay.
and it's only $5 a month.
Hold on, $5 for everything. What's the catch?
You heard that right.
Wow.
$5.
Seriously.
No catch, really.
Okay.
For that $5, you get unlimited access to their tech training programs.
So all of their programs are only $5 a month?
All of their training programs.
Yep. Wow.
Which, let's be honest, would cost you thousands of dollars anywhere else.
Yeah, that's true.
You also get access to these incredible tech hubs they have
Oh, wow.
in major cities, plus community events, online resources, and even their network of university partners.
That's amazing.
And there's also an annual option for $49,
Okay.
which saves you a few bucks if you're committed.
So it's like $1 a week.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, that's a seriously disruptive price point.
Yeah,
It makes me wonder how they can even afford to offer all of that. But
right.
before we go down that rabbit hole, let's talk about the actual programs.
Sure.
What kind of training are we talking about here?
They've got a really diverse range.
Okay.
And it's clear they've done their homework in terms of understanding what skills are most in demand.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got the classic web dev tracks, front end and back end,
Right, good.
where you learn things like, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and more.
Right, the basics.
Yeah, but they also have programs in data analytics, data science, AWS cloud computing. That's Amazon Web Services. By the way, the biggest cloud platform out there.
Wow.
And even Salesforce administration.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're really trying to cover all the bases. I mean, anyone from like a total newbie to someone who's already working in tech could find something relevant here, right?
Exactly. And to help people figure out where they fit in, they provide these example profiles
Oh, cool.
for each program.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like for the data analytics program, they say an ideal candidate might be someone already working in sales, maybe with a few years of experience, who's looking to become a business analyst.
Mhm.
So it makes it much easier to kind of visualize yourself in those roles.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the tech training side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw that they also have these career development programs.
Yes.
What's the difference?
These are more about those essential skills you need no matter what field you're in.
Gotcha.
Even if you're not going full on tech.
Okay.
They have things like an AI starter kit, which is free. Yeah.
Okay.
And AI Career Essentials, where you learn how to use AI tools for things like job searching and building your resume.
Free AI training. Sign me up. I feel like AI is one of those things I'm always hearing about but will never actually understand.
Right. This is a great way to dip your toes in and see what it's all about.
Okay, I like it.
They also have programs on becoming a virtual assistant,
Oh, yeah.
which is a huge opportunity these days.
Absolutely.
And one called Professional Foundations
Okay.
that focuses on things like communication and problem solving.
So it's like a mix of practical everyday skills
Yeah,
and staying ahead of the curve with stuff like AI.
exactly.
I like it. But what about that pathway program I saw?
Oh, yeah.
It seemed pretty different from all of this.
Yeah, the ALX pathway is specifically for recent high school grads,
Okay.
and it is a pretty remarkable opportunity.
Okay.
We're talking full scholarships to some seriously prestigious universities.
Like what kind of universities are we talking?
Northwestern, Tufts, UC Berkeley.
Wow, those are some big names.
In the U.S., Africa, all over the world.
Okay.
And we're talking scholarships worth up to $85,000 per year.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's life-changing stuff, but I'm guessing there's some pretty strict requirements.
You're right, it's not a survive.
Okay.
To be eligible, students have to complete this 8-month program called Pathway Foundations,
Okay.
which preps them for university applications and builds those core skills they'll need to succeed.
So it's an intense but potentially incredible pathway to higher education.
Right.
What I'm getting from all of this is that ALX is about so much more than just technical skills.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to develop well-rounded individuals who can be leaders, innovators,
Yeah,
and frankly, good humans in a world that desperately needs them.
absolutely. And that's really what sets them apart.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting a job. It's
Right.
about using your skills to make a real impact.
Hmm.
And speaking of impact, that's something we need to talk about.
Okay.
ALX has some seriously impressive numbers when it comes to the difference they're making in people's lives. But before we get to that, I'm curious, what stands out to you so far about this whole ALX thing?
Honestly, it's the combination of the affordability, the focus on ethical leadership, and the sheer ambition of it all.
Yeah.
I mean, they're aiming to transform Africa's tech landscape, and they're doing it in a way that's incredibly inclusive.
It's pretty remarkable.
But I'm also a little skeptical. Can they really deliver on all of this at such a low price?
That's a fair question.
And what does impact really look like in practice?
Yeah, those are great questions, and I think we should dig into those next.
Okay.
Let's unpack the numbers, hear some real stories from ALX alumni, and see if this model is truly as revolutionary as it seems.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so let's talk impact.
Okay.
ALX is claiming some pretty impressive numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Over 205,000 learners since 2021, thousands finding jobs or launching businesses.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
It is, but numbers only tell part of the story.
Right.
What I find really compelling are the personal stories coming out of ALX.
Yeah, the human element is key.
Absolutely.
I was looking through some alumni testimonials.
Oh, yeah.
And one that really struck me was this guy, Abdul Razak Idris.
Okay.
He was already working as a software consultant.
Mm-hmm.
But he said the AWS program helped him level up not just his technical skills, but also things like time management and communication,
Interesting.
which I think is huge.
Yeah, what's interesting there is that he specifically mentioned using the Pomodoro technique
Mhm.
and things like morning pages,
Oh, wow.
practices that are all about personal productivity and well-being.
Yeah.
It reinforces that ALX is going beyond just the hard skills.
Totally. And then there's this woman, Shama Mohammed,
Okay.
who's actually a pharmacist.
Interesting.
She talks about how ALX has given her a fresh perspective
Yeah.
on problem solving and innovation, even though her field isn't directly related to tech.
That speaks to the transferability of the skills they're teaching.
Yeah.
ALX isn't just creating coders.
Mhm.
They're cultivating critical thinkers who can apply those skills across different industries.
And her quote about being grateful for the opportunity to grow and evolve in her career really resonated with me.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting a job. It's about finding fulfillment in your work.
Exactly.
Okay, another story that caught my eye was Omar Zin.
Okay.
He started with the AI Career Essentials program,
Mm-hmm.
got hooked on data, and then went on to do the data analytics program.
That's a great example of how ALX can be like a launch pad for continuous learning.
Yeah.
Their programs can be stepping stones,
Right.
helping you discover new passions and build on your skills over time.
I like that.
Yeah.
He said ALX helped him gain technical knowledge, find a clear career path, and even become more disciplined overall.
That's fantastic.
I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Right. And then there's Abdullah Kalaram, who
Okay.
actually landed a new job during the data analytics program.
Wow, that's awesome.
Talk about immediate results.
That's got to be a huge confidence booster.
Oh, yeah.
He does say that balancing deadlines was a challenge, but ultimately he considers the program one of the best decisions he's ever made.
It reminds us that learning takes work. It
Yeah.
takes commitment.
Right,
But the payoffs can be huge, both professionally and personally.
for sure.
These are just a few stories, but they highlight the ripple effect ALX is having. It's not just about individual success. It's about empowering people to change their lives and contribute to their communities.
Speaking of community, I'm really curious about ALX's efforts to support women in tech.
Oh, yeah.
It's no secret that there's a huge gender gap in the industry, but it seems like they're really trying to address that.
Absolutely. They have this whole Women in Tech initiative that goes beyond just lip service.
Mhm.
They're showcasing inspiring stories of women leaders in tech,
Yeah.
like Alina Hamid Yao, who's a senior digital strategist, and Ananda Dimitro, who works in program management for data and engineering.
That's so important for women to see themselves represented in these roles,
Right.
to know that it's possible.
Yeah, and they even quote Barack Obama,
Oh, wow.
who said that empowering women in technology isn't just the right thing to do,
hmm
but also the smart thing to do.
I mean, that's a pretty powerful endorsement.
Yeah, it's about recognizing the unique perspectives and talents that women bring to the table, and the
hmm
fact that the tech industry needs more of that.
And they're not just talking about it, they're taking action.
Right.
Their partnership with Women in Tech Global provides access to resources, mentorship, and networking opportunities for women across Africa.
Yeah, it's about creating a supportive ecosystem where women can connect, learn, and grow together.
Exactly.
And they're encouraging women to speak up, share their ideas, and be a part of shaping the future of technology.
It's a powerful message, and it's clearly resonating.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about the tech training programs, the emphasis on ethical leadership, the community aspect, and their commitment to supporting women in tech.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not forget about those career development programs.
Yeah.
What stood out to you about those?
I think they're a great way for people to explore different options and get a taste of what's possible.
Yeah.
That free AI starter kit is a fantastic entry point.
hmm
And the AI Career Essentials program goes deeper into how to use AI for things like job hunting and entrepreneurship.
Those are skills that are becoming increasingly valuable in today's job market, regardless of your field.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget about the virtual assistant program, which is a huge opportunity for people looking for remote work or wanting to start their own businesses.
Right. And then there's the Professional Foundations program,
Right.
which focuses on those essential soft skills, communication, collaboration, problem-solving leadership,
Yeah.
that employers are looking for across the board.
It's like they're saying, hey, we'll help you develop the technical skills,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll also give you the tools to navigate the professional world
Right.
and be successful in whatever you choose to do.
Exactly. And that holistic approach is something I really appreciate about ALX.
Me too.
Now, before we move on, I want to circle back on something you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
That skepticism about the $5 price tag.
Oh, yeah.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
How do they manage to offer so much at such a low cost?
Right. That's the million-dollar question.
It does seem almost too good to be true.
Are they cutting corners somewhere? Is the quality of instruction compromised?
I hear you, and to be honest, there isn't a simple answer.
Okay.
It's a complex equation involving philanthropic funding partnerships and a lean operational model.
Okay, so there's more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah,
But even with philanthropic support, sustainability has to be a concern, right?
of course.
Can they keep this up long term?
That's a question only time will tell.
Yeah.
But what's clear is that they've tapped into a huge unmet need,
Right.
and they're attracting significant investment.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see how their model evolves as they grow.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, the impact stories, the focus on women in tech, those career development programs, and even the sustainability question.
Yeah.
But there's still one piece of the puzzle we haven't explored in detail,
Which is?
the ALX Pathway Program
Right.
for recent grads.
That's right. And I think it's worth dedicating some time to.
Okay.
Because it's such a unique and potentially life-changing opportunity.
Hmm.
Remember those full scholarships to top universities we talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah.
That's what this program is all about.
Yeah, those scholarships are no joke,
Up to $85,000 per year is a game changer for anyone.
especially for students coming from disadvantaged backgrounds.
Absolutely. But as we mentioned before, it's not just a handout.
Right.
To be eligible for those scholarships, students have to complete this rigorous 8-month Pathway Foundations program.
So what does that program actually entail? What are they teaching these students?
It's a blend of academic preparation skills development and personal growth.
Okay.
They cover things like critical thinking, communication, research skills, the kind of foundational stuff you need to succeed at the university level.
So it's not just about getting them ready to apply to college.
Right.
It's about setting them up for success once they get there.
Exactly. They also introduce them to different technical fields like software engineering and data analytics to give them a taste of what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the program, they have dedicated mentors who guide them through the application process and help them make informed decisions about their future.
It's like a supercharged college pro program,
Yeah,
but with a tech focus and a built-in support system.
that's a great way to put it, and the results speak for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
ALX Pathway graduates have gone on to study at some of the most prestigious universities in the world. Places like Northwestern Tufts, UC Berkeley, Vanderbilt Hamilton College, the University of Chicago, or even Macalester College.
It's incredible to think about the doors this program is opening for young people.
It is.
And it's not just limited to universities in the U.S.
Right.
They also have partnerships with leading institutions in Africa, like the African Leadership University in Rwanda.
Right, they're creating a global network of opportunities for these students.
Hmm.
And what's really cool is that the ALX is constantly expanding their network of university partners, so the possibilities are only going to grow in the future.
You know, as we've been talking about all of this, I keep coming back to the question of access.
Yeah.
ALX is making world-class education and opportunities accessible to people who might not otherwise have had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
It is huge, and it goes back to that idea of ALX bridging the skills gap and driving economic growth in Africa
Yeah,
by empowering individuals.
right.
They're empowering communities and ultimately the entire continent.
It's like a ripple effect,
Yeah,
spreading outwards from each individual who goes through their programs.
exactly. And it's not just about the technical skills.
Right.
It's about the mindset, the confidence, the belief that they can achieve anything they set their minds to.
That's powerful stuff. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
But there's one final piece we need to address: the broader implications of what ALX is doing.
Okay.
It's not just about ALX itself.
Right.
It's about what our model represents and the potential it has to inspire change on a global scale.
That's a big thought.
That's what I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
How can we take the lessons learned from ALX
Mm-hmm.
and apply them to other contexts? How can we make quality education and opportunities more accessible to everyone everywhere?
Those are the big questions we need to be asking ourselves.
Yeah.
ALX is showing us that it's possible to disrupt the traditional education model
Okay.
and create something that's more affordable, more relevant, and more impactful.
And they're doing it in a way that's specifically tailored to the needs of the African continent. Exactly.
Which is so important.
Not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something for our listener to ponder. How can we take inspiration from ALX and create similar initiatives in other parts of the world? How can we break down barriers to education and opportunity and create a more equitable future for all?
Those are great questions to leave our listeners with.
And honestly, I'm feeling pretty optimistic.
Yeah,
ALX is proving that it's possible to make a real difference, and that's incredibly inspiring.
I agree.
It feels like they're not just reacting to the current tech boom, but really trying to shape the future.
Yeah.
The future of education and work in Africa.
Mm,
Their programs are like designed to be future-proof.
right.
Teaching those skills that will be in demand for years to come.
It's like they're looking ahead, anticipating the needs of the job market, and preparing learners to be at the forefront of innovation.
It's not just about catching up.
Right.
It's about leapfrogging ahead.
Exactly, and that focus on ethical leadership we talked about.
Yeah. It feels even more important in that context.
Mm-hmm.
As technology gets more powerful, we need leaders who are thoughtful about its implications and use it responsibly.
Absolutely.
It's about ensuring that technology is a force for good in Africa, driving progress and creating a more equitable world.
Yeah.
ALX is playing a crucial role in making that vision a reality.
Those impact statistics we discussed earlier, over 116,000 learners finding work,
Yeah.
thousands of entrepreneurs creating new businesses and jobs.
It's pretty incredible.
Those numbers are impressive, but they represent real people,
Right.
real lives being changed.
Those aren't just abstract figures.
Right.
Each one represents someone who's gained new skills, found a better job, or started a business that's contributing to their community.
Mm-hmm.
It's that human impact that really matters.
We talked about some of those inspiring alumni stories, Abdul Razak Shama, Omar Abdullah.
Yeah.
But there's just a small sample of the thousands who've benefited from ALX.
That's right.
It's like they've created this ripple effect of positive change spreading across the continent.
And it's only going to grow as ALX expands its reach and more people go through their programs.
Mm-hmm.
That impact is going to multiply.
You know, throughout this deep dive, I've been struck by how different ALX's approach is
Yeah.
compared to traditional education.
In what way?
It's more affordable,
Okay.
more flexible,
Yeah.
more focused on practical skills and real-world application.
That's a model that's challenging the status quo.
Right.
And I think that's incredibly valuable.
And their emphasis on community mentorship and personal growth
Yeah.
is something I haven't seen replicated in most traditional educational settings.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just teaching, they're empowering.
That's a key distinction. They're
Yeah.
creating an environment where learners feel supported, challenged, and inspired to reach their full potential.
But let's be realistic.
Okay.
ALX isn't a magic bullet.
Right.
There are still huge challenges to overcome when it comes to education and economic development in Africa.
Of course, no single organization can solve those complex problems overnight.
Right.
But what ALX is doing is providing a blueprint,
Okay.
a model for how we can approach these challenges in a more innovative and impactful way.
And they're proving that it's possible to make significant progress with limited resources.
Right.
that $5 price point is still blowing my mind.
It's a testament to their ingenuity and their commitment to making education accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
They're breaking down financial barriers that have prevented so many talented individuals from reaching their full potential.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into ALX Africa,
Yeah.
here's what I want our listener to walk away with. ALX is a powerful example of how innovation technology and a commitment to human potential can create real change.
They're not just teaching skills, they're transforming lives and shaping a brighter future for Africa.
And their story is an inspiration to all of us.
It is.
A reminder that we can make a difference no matter where we are or what resources we have.
It's about finding ways to empower ourselves and others to create positive change in our own communities and beyond.
Absolutely.
Because ultimately, the world needs more ALXs, more organizations that are willing to challenge the status quo, think differently, and put people at the center of their mission. That's how we create a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
Couldn't have said it better myself.